Good evening. Thank
Good
you.
evening. And girls, let's give them a big welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So we all know Dr. Partha was with us last month as well. And just a brief, he's advised world leaders. He's taught at the top universities. He has written deeply about humanity's future. And yet, beyond all of these roles and different hats that he wears, he's a mentor and a believer in the power of human connection. So today he's here to speak to us, not just speak at us, but to journey with us. And I say journey because he has committed to do a series of talks with the MJC girls. So thank you, Dr. Partha, for this once again.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And thank you to all the...
When you say a special place in the planet, what does this mean for young students, the special place?
In view of my experience, having worked, as you know, about close to 36 countries, I've come across all kinds of individuals who may be janitors, who may be working in a manufacturing plant, or maybe chairman of a company. Irrespective of the roles they play, I find that one common denominator in people who enjoy their work, and as I mentioned, it could be cleaning a toilet, it could be cooking, or it could be doing gardening, or it could be running a company, that they who enjoy the work, there's a sense of happiness. Then I ask the question, why do they enjoy so much even when they're doing a very simple work? And I think these individuals are the ones who know their special place, that I enjoy taking care of flowers and plants in the garden. And I treat each plant with complete nishtha, complete shraddha, that I am serving the plant. So I think to be able to uncover that inner trait in you, because I believe God has given all of us special gifts. But the gifts were different. For someone it could be chocolates, for someone it could be an ornament, someone it could be a cricket ball. But the gift is there. And it is our responsibility to uncover the gift. And whatever that gift is, find a way to use it and enjoy the use of that gift and continue to build on that gift. And it doesn't matter whether I'm doing something very mundane or something very sophisticated. We all play a role in the global ecosystem. Every individual has an important role to play. If the road is unclean, everyone will feel uncomfortable. So the person who's cleaning the road is as important as someone who's running a big company. First thing that we have to keep in mind, and if I enjoy cleaning, let me enjoy cleaning. And I think that is what I mean by realizing the gift, finding your special place, and do it with complete pride. That this is your role, I want to do it right, I want to be proud about it. And I think that's the gift we have to unlock. Gift doesn't mean that all of us have to become the principal of a school, all of us have to become the prime minister, or all of us have to become the CEO of a company. I think that is not the right way of looking at life. The right way of looking at life is that we have a gift, let's uncover it, let's express that gift in service of society. Am I making sense, Elizabeth?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So dignity of labor plays a very important role in that. Yeah, the ability to listen to yourself, know yourself, and understand, to be able to uncover what your strengths are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Is finding your place something that happens, or finding yourself something that happens suddenly, or Is it a journey? Does it take time?
It is a journey, because every interaction we have, right now I'm learning from you as you're raising the question, as I'm looking at the students, also I'm learning because every exchange is a learning opportunity. So if we agree that life is all about being a good student, and not student when you are in school or college, student right across from the age of 0 to however long we may live, we are learning, we are interfacing, we are learning. So as long as we are learning about the environment and learning ourselves, you start realizing who you are. But that learning process has to be sincere. You're not learning to take a test. You're learning because you want to learn the subject. So if I'm interested in physics, I want to learn it deep inside, not because I want to get an A or a high grade. That will follow. But if we focus on learning a subject that I like to learn, and in the process I discover who I am, and then create a beautiful music or symphony between my inner conscience and outer conscience, then automatically you will be able to find your place. So I would like to say it is a continuous process. But having that said, sometimes what happens in a journey, as you are pursuing a subject, you meet an individual who opens up your mind. But we should not wait for the individual to appear, but he or she may appear. The biggest example is Swami Vivekananda when he met Ramakrishna. He met Ramakrishna, the dialogue led to that young man to become so in charge that in spite of not being invited to Chicago, when he went to Chicago, he gave a speech, he woke up the whole people, and he was only 29 years old. Now, meeting Ramakrishna was a pivotal moment. So sometimes it happens, but we should not wait for that. We should continuously explore who we are, understand who, what we can do, and then maybe a situation will arrive when you take, I wouldn't say use the word advantage, but that sounds very selfish, but you respect that situation and build up your future, whatever that may be. Like as I'm speaking with you, Elizabeth, as I spoke with you, I'm looking at these young ladies. I would love to interact with each one of them. And I do not know if I interact with 2 of them or 5 of them or say 8, 10 of you, what is the new possibility to open up? I don't know, but I'm willing to experiment. So that experimental attitude with life is extremely important. Knowing who you are, what kind of experiment you have to decide. But experimentation and exploring the new frontiers should always be the purpose of life. Again, I have to quote Tagore. I think last time I may have quoted. In Bengali, it goes like this, Shimarama Jashim to me. What he's saying, within the limits, you are the unlimited. And I've kept on trying to find who you are. So I think we have to always look for that unlimited possibility within the limits of where we are. And that is, I think, life is all about, and that's how you find that special gift in you.
Right. But, when you were a student, did you ever feel unsure about yourself, your future? How did you handle that?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think. Now, I'm still a student. So 2 things are coming to my mind. I'm still a student, but when I was a quote-unquote student in a college, let me put myself when I was in a college, when I was a student. I never thought about the future as such. I was enjoying the subject that I'm learning. If I'm in a class on thermodynamics, I was learning thermodynamics. I was enjoying learning with first and the second law of thermodynamics. If I'm in a class on chemistry, I enjoy learning about kinetics. If I was a class in English and they were teaching us sonnets, I enjoyed the inspiration of the poet. Why did he write that poetry? Not just memorize the poetry. Why did the author, Milton, write that poetry? Or what inspired Tagore to write that poetry? So when I think about myself, I had a very questioning attitude, and on whatever subject I was studying, I really wanted to go deep into it. And I enjoyed going deep into it. I never felt tired. Oh my God, I've got another exam, what I have to do. I just immersed myself, enjoyed it, and then disengaged, and then went and played cricket or played soccer. So not that I was all the time studying. I did a lot of things. I did debates. But when I would do a debate, I want to make sure I'm well prepared. When I'm playing cricket, I used to practice. I used to go out jogging regularly, so I'm fit. So my approach was whatever was presented to me, I enjoyed it to the fullest, as opposed to thinking about the future. So I am still a student. So today I also have the same spirit. As I'm speaking with you, every question you're raising, I'm trying to explore myself, because you're talking about me. In the process, I feel new possibilities are opening up. I feel maybe I should write a book. Just when you raised the third question, I felt maybe I should put together some thoughts. Maybe one of your students could help me to write the book based on these dialogues. Maybe these dialogues could be converted into a book. And that book could be shared with all the schools and colleges in India. Because in India, there is a question. If the question is very valid, that I'm in a college, what happens? Will I get a job? What will happen after that? Which is understandable, because the Indian environment is very constrained. Indian environment, there are a lot of challenges. So it's very understandable. But if we can send a message that each individual has the power to shape the environment, as long as you know the gift within you, as long as you're enjoying the subject that you're studying, a new world would emerge. You do not have to wait for someone else to give you the world. You create the world for yourself. Now that message, I think, has to go out to each and every youngster in India, across the world, because the world is becoming a very difficult place. There's no doubt about it. But on the other side, the world is becoming a place full of possibilities, because I see difficulty, adversity as a challenge. But when you cross that challenge, new world opens up. So we have to cultivate in our students that confidence. Yes, I can do it. I can create, cross the wall. On the other side of the wall, I don't know what might be there, but I'm willing to experiment. I have the gift in me. I'll use the gift in me to experiment with the unknown. But unknown is something we should embrace, as opposed to feel scared about or fear unknown. Unknown is interesting, it's venturing. Okay.
Right. So be fearless and explore.
Be fearless. Absolutely. Be fearless, but with care. Move with care.
With care. Yes, with care. With care. Yeah. So, was there a special or a key moment or a turning point when you realized your own special place, or are you still searching for it?
Very good question. That's a very good question. I think, because particularly when you added the last part, it's very important. I think I can definitely say I'm still searching for it. That doesn't mean I'm uncomfortable for what I'm doing. Because I do believe as I grow, as the environmental changes, possibilities in front of me is changing. I cannot say that I found the place, a special place, now I'm comfortable, now the rest of the life will be so easy. That itself is a wrong formula, because life is not about making my life easy. Life is about making difficult choices, and in the process, uncover the unknown. So, from that point of view, I could say I'm still looking for the next place. But on the other side, to appreciate the spirit of your question, yes, I mean, every situation, when I was studying chemical engineering at IIT Kharagpur, I enjoyed the subject. Then I went to MIT and chemical engineering enjoyed. Then I went to economics, business management at Harvard, Sloan School. I enjoyed. So I kind of moved naturally to the next phase, and the next phase, and the next phase. But if I have to ask, what do I enjoy doing most? Exactly what I'm doing right now. I like to reflect. I like to help people. If I could be of some help to each of the students right in front of me, I would be absolutely delighted, because life is about lifting others, helping others, serving others. So, from that point of view, I have continuously looked for the next service that I could offer to society. Now, I was in the, as you know, the profession of management consulting, which is also service, helping companies become better, helping organizations become more confident, more efficient, more productive. In the process, make the people in the company more comfortable with their own organizations. And I've enjoyed that. I've done that in Japan, I've done that in China, in Korea, in Singapore, in India, to all the way to United States, from east to west, from north to south. And it is a fun process, but I never felt, okay, this is it. I got it. Now I can relax. Because particularly in management consulting, you can never relax, because the world is changing. The people that you're serving, they are changing. The industries are changing. I better continue to study. So that spirit of being a professional student, lifelong student, I think is one message that I would like to share with you, and the message that I share with myself, that I hope God will give me the wisdom to be a good student of life.
Right. Interesting. Now, a lot of us as students feel the pressure to make the right choices about our careers and our life. How can we discover what are the right choices and where we truly belong? Which path do we belong in? How do we kind of, how do you discover that? How do you find that path?
That's a good question. I would say what we should avoid first, so that we should not make a choice because my father wants me to become an engineer, or my father wants me to become a doctor, or my mother wants me to get married, or whatever. I think it's nice to listen to that voice. When my father wants me to become an engineer, I should ask why. Why do you think I'll do well in engineering? And someone else is saying, well, you'll be a good doctor. Ask them. But then it is your inner self should make the choice. I think that's the first most important thing. That I should be comfortable with the choice I'm making. You may want to become a school teacher, or you want to serve children, go to a kindergarten and teach. Everything is important. Without a kindergarten, you cannot come to primary school. Without primary school, you cannot go to high school. Without high school, you cannot go to college. So every service that we provide in society is important. So second advice I have is, do not create a hierarchy. Well, my friend has joined a fantastic IT company called Infosys, so I have to also join Infosys. So you can start your own IT company, or you can start a landscaping company, or you can start a fashion company. So it's up to you to decide the choice again. not because your friend is doing that or another friend is suggesting maybe you should do this. That's where we go wrong. So that's the second thing to avoid. Firstly, parents, hear to them with care, with respect, but you have to make the decision. Here to listen to your friends, why he or she is suggesting Infosys or IT as opposed to something else here. But then you ask, what would you enjoy doing? Now, if you're an artist type person, why shouldn't you think of become a fashion designer, interior decorator? There's so many professions. Or create a new profession. I beautify people. I beautify people. Or you can create a new profession. I will serve schools, but the schools are very static looking, four walls. My job would be to make the walls of schools decorative so that it is interacting with me. There's so many things you can do, but that's where I think asking the question, who I am and how do I want to serve society, which you will enjoy serving forever. Mother Teresa created an organization of, I think, 300,000 nuns all over the world. All over the world. It's called the Missionary of Charity, right?
Yeah, in Calcutta, yeah.
In Calcutta, but it is in 160 countries. 300,000 nuns are working. But how did she start? Serving a poor kid in the road of Calcutta, left homeless, holding her, just one kid at a time. But when she left the world, she had organization in 160 countries, 300,000 nuns working. It happened right in front of my eyes. When she started, I was born. At the time which she started her activity in Calcutta, I was born in Calcutta, I think in the early 50s. And, one by one. So there are many such examples. But she chose to do what she felt very good doing. So I think each one of us should choose what you feel good about yourself. You have to feel good about yourself, not what society thinks about you. But listen to society. I'm not saying neglect them. Or you want to sing, become a good singer. You want to play a musical instrument, play the instrument well. But whatever you choose to do, you want to be the best in the world. That's one thing very important. That's one thing I feel missing in India. I see that in America, people talk about Taylor Swift. But how did Taylor Swift become Taylor Swift? Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley. But what I found in these people are coming from very average backgrounds. Not that they were born with all the glamour. But Taylor Swift, when she started singing at the age of 12, 14, did it concentrated. She writes her own songs, sings, physical appearance, dancing, the total package she offered to the world. Today they say when Taylor Swift goes, the GDP of the country goes up, economy of the country goes up. Now, so there's so many examples. What I'm saying is there are about 1 million examples in front of you. You study who you are and then connect with the possibility. Now that possibility may not work, that's fine. Life is an experiment. Move to the next experiment. And the next experiment. And that is what I feel we have to learn how to enjoy. And one thing, Elizabeth, in our Indian education system, both because of the pressure from the parents and from the schools, people feel very much in the boxed. I have to do this and this is what it is. But great personalities go out of the box, including Tagore. Tagore dropped out of school, but the first Nobel Prize winner of Asia. Mother Teresa dropped out of, originally from I think Hungary or Austria, then went to Ireland, moved away from there, came to Calcutta at the age of 20. She was only 20 years old. But they've shaken up the world. I challenge all of you that you can also shake up the world, but choose the pathway that you feel most comfortable and you can stay committed to it for the rest of your life. That choice we have kind of become, Melissa, what I'm seeing in India and some other societies, we have become a bit laid back. We expect things to happen because I'm going to school or college, something will happen to me, as opposed to what could I make happen. And there's a fundamental shift that is required.
So that was actually, you combined the other question that I had in mind about finding what we're passionate about. So we've, I think it's also the courage of conviction, right? When you find what you're passionate about and work hard with it and to make it, to take it ahead, to take it forward and make it happen. But as students, how can they use whatever talents they have, not just for themselves, but how important is it to be associated with the community, the planet? How can they manage both the things together?
I think it's very important. Again, I go back to Tagore, Shantiniketan concept. If you are in college, no point feeling that I am superior vis-a-vis others who cannot go to college. We have that tendency. And it is true that only 10% of Indian population, Indian kids, can afford to go to college. Only 10%, or maybe 15%. It's a small number. But there are 85% who cannot. So firstly, the 15% who goes by no means should feel that they are superior and the other 85% is inferior. In fact, I would put it the other way around. The 85% is sacrificing their lives to subsidize the 15% who's going to college. So I would change the equation this way. 85% is more important. So the first point I would request is to be connected with the environment around, because that's where you get the ideas or the opportunities to serve. When you see Delhi is dirty, or whichever part of Delhi you come from is dirty, you could take the leadership. I will clean it up, at least in my neighborhood. You start cleaning. Not because someone has given you the job, but you believe it being dirty is not good. Buy a brush, buy a broom, start with buy gloves so that you do not pick up infection. Start cleaning, and you will be surprised soon others have started joining, and then it becomes almost like an infection spreads. Everyone is cleaning. In next 30 days, Delhi becomes a clean city, and everyone is not dependent on someone else cleaning it. People like you and I who make it dirty is cleaning it. Because how does the city become dirty? Because we throw our things on the road. Why should it be dirty? In Japan, roads are always clean because Japanese people do not throw garbage on the road, do not throw the plastic bottle on the road, do not throw the packet on the road. They keep it in their bag till they can find a garbage can. And garbage cans are also located in such a way that it does not look odd. They are kind of hidden. So there's so much to do. So my point is absolutely, Elizabeth, people have to connect with the planet, with the environment. And in India, what I find the most interesting, we can see almost all the problems of the world concentrated in India, in each city. And to me, each problem is an opportunity. If you can say, okay, I'll take care of this. Indian parks look dirty. Go to a park in Singapore, go to a park in Japan. Flowers are rightly placed, beautifully organized. The grass is cut. Maybe each school should take care of each park. That's their job. First, 1 hour, the students go to the closest park and they should clean the park, trim the grass, make sure the plants are properly placed, cut off the weeds, so it looks like a picture. It's doable, and it's good exercise anyway. We want to be physically fit. So there's a lot could be done in our country which we are not doing, and youngsters like you could take the leadership under the guidance of your faculty. Particularly Elizabeth, as you know, is a very dynamic lady, and I see the other faculty members also, like Major Jane is there. So all of you could come together to create that new, I would call, era of Clean India. We call Clean India, but we have not made any progress. Because the reason we have not made any progress, Clean India meant put in more jharudars who will clean it. But the point is, if we are making it dirty, how many jharudars will clean 1.5 billion people make it dirty? We have to change our fundamental etiquettes and behaviors. Who would not dirty it? Why should a road in Gurgaon and any of the Delhi, the most money has been spent on infrastructure? I think I would almost like to claim 40% of infrastructure spent for the country is spent on Delhi, because it is the capital. But do you think any part of the city looks clean except where the parliament is? Because why it looks clean? Because hundreds of people are cleaning it. You go to the same place in Tokyo, where the parliament is, you will not find any cleaner and not any jardins, because no one is dirtying it. So that's the problem of our country, and I think we need to work on it. I'm being very open, but I see it as an opportunity. But we have to make a fundamental shift as to how we think. What do we think we are when we get educated? Some of us superior, some of we feel we do not have to do any manual work. But manual work is good because it makes your muscles strong, you stay fit, the waistline remains slim, and everything looks good. You want to make beautiful, do manual work.
Absolutely.
Making sense, Elizabeth?
Absolutely. Since more about the Japanese culture as well, because you've also advised large corporations there. So I have seen videos of school children, young ones in Japan, cleaning classrooms.
Absolutely.
Everyone.
That's part of the curriculum. I used to live in Japan. My children used to clean, and my wife is Japanese, and she, in fact, did not allow my sons to get out of the bedroom without making the bed perfectly. Not just perfectly, absolutely tightly done from the age of 3. Now, when every child in a country is growing up with that kind of discipline, as soon as you get up from the bed, your bedroom should look perfectly clean as if you're entering a 7-star hotel. Absolutely perfectly tight, the pillow is placed in the right place, everything's organized. Then they are given out dressed to dress up. They dress up, mother doesn't dress them up. My wife used to put the shorts, the shirts, and they will put it on. They will put on the socks, they will put on the shoes, and then they go on their own to the closest subway. At the age of 3 and 4, I would say, not 3, at the age of 4, to go by train to the school. And every child is doing that in Tokyo, Japan. Why will not that country succeed? Here we are tempered. If they're rich, the car comes with 2 servants. They carry the bag for you, even they're only 6 years old. That will not do. Our muscles are too weak. And if your muscles are weak, how could a country be strong? As simple as that. Why don't we receive gold medals in the Olympics? You should ask yourself the question. China picks up about 40 gold medals. Japan which is a country of only 100 million, which is population less than UP. Picks up 30 gold medals. And we struggle to pick up one gold medal. Javelin. We have got a gold medal in javelin. After a long time, but one gold medal. And we make a big deal. Of course, we should make a big deal. At least we got one. But one is nothing.
Yeah.
A country like India with 1.5 billion people should at least receive 40 gold medals at Olympics. At least 40 gold medals.
Yeah. So, but I'm really proud of our girls, Dr. Partha. I have to share with you that they have the cleanest rooms. They keep their rooms very clean, their surroundings very clean. They take pride in gardening. And they take care of maintaining their spaces and keeping it clean. So I'm actually very proud of them, and I hope they continue to do that. So
they will.
They will, yes, they will, I'm sure. Where do failures and mistakes play a role in helping us finding our place? I mean, if you can share some examples from your life and your own journey, would be good.
That's a good question. You know, any experiment, and I made the point, any experiment, there will be both positive and negative outcomes. So I have series of negative outcomes, but I never looked at them as negative outcome. I looked at it as a data point which taught me this is not possible and this is not for you. But I build on it to make the next move, the next experiment. And again, every experiment has a 50% possibility of what you expect, 50% possibility of what you don't expect. So I wouldn't call failures. I have a lot of situations what I expected out of life and what it turned out to be, they were different. But I did not look at it, such situations, as something to get depressed about, but something to learn from, to develop the next move. You know, I have been trying to bring change in India since Rajiv Gandhi became Prime Minister. Because when he became the Prime Minister, as you know, in mid-85, 86, he brought in fresh thinking that we have to modernize. But unfortunately, nothing changed. But I started interacting with India quite a lot. Though I was living in Japan, living in America, but I used to come to India every 2 weeks. So many ways I could say all my efforts, very honest efforts, genuine efforts, based on what I was learning in Japan, how to inject that in India. But somehow when I gave my talks, my speeches, people loved it. They kept on inviting me back. I gave more talks, but what was happening in the process, more talks I delivered, more my mind became clearer that what India needs, because every time I spoke, I would do some thinking, more research. As a result, my talks became more sharper. But on the other side, I would say I couldn't change India. People clapped. People say, oh, wow, Partha, that's very clear, that's good, we should do it. But then people have the tendency to go back to their normal lives. They don't change. So I'm still working on, that's why I'm saying I'm still a student. What is the magic that I could create where people would wake up and change? And so, yes, those are the failures that I couldn't change, but I've not given up. I think maybe this is an opportunity. The discussion that we have right now, today, 12 minutes past 11 o'clock in the morning, my time, which should be around 8:42 your time in the PM. I hope maybe this will open up a new chapter. That if a group of students right in front of me commits to the change that we need to make in India, that happens, we'll see the change. So I have viewed life that way. The failures are not viewed as failures. are viewed as learning opportunities. Because, failure and success really depends upon how you define. If the objective is, oh, I wanted to make 10 lakhs of rupees, but I made only 5 lakhs, so I failed. That's not the right way of looking at it. Okay, I wanted 10, I got 5. First, I should be thankful to God I got 5. And how to make the most out of 5, as opposed to repenting, oh, I got 5 lakhs less. So I looked at life with that spirit. So whatever you get out of your sincere effort, celebrate that, enjoy that, and keep on moving to the next experiment. But the overall purpose remains steady. That yes, I want to bring change in India. You heard my talk in Vasant Bihar. That's why we are having this discussion.
Yeah.
It was in the month of August, right? Just a few, only a couple of months. No, not even a couple of months.
Not even a couple of months. Yeah.
Which is amazing, but seems like a long time ago.
Yeah.
But you heard me, because I do feel on one side India has tremendous possibility. On the other side, we feel to realize that possibility, India has to make a fundamental change, not the kind of change we are talking about right now. It's not about tweaking a little bit, it will happen. We need to think differently, work differently, connect with the world differently. India has got a lot of assets. We can bring the assets into play.
Yeah. So, what in all of this, I think what you also have implied is that the special place it changes continuously, or is it in? I mean, I've understood. Am I right on that? That it is not fixed.
It's not fixed. It is. You have to start with the target, but as you come closer to the target, either the target moves away or target gives you a different picture. So it is a continuous search. And naturally it's not fixed, because, Elizabeth, as you become wiser, every individual is becoming wiser with time. As you become older, your muscles are either becoming stronger till the age of 50, after that it starts becoming a bit weaker, unless you can regularly exercise. So you are changing. You as a biological being is changing. All of us are changing. The mind is changing, the brain is changing, mind is changing, muscles are changing. So you as a biology is changing. The world is changing. So that interaction between the world and you has to change. So nothing is fixed, but the intent should be generally steady. That I want to serve society based on the gifts God has given me. That intent is steady. But how do you serve and how do you position your posture? That would be a dynamic process, where the world is changing and you are changing. So that would be my take on this particular part.
Well, it's been almost the hour is up, Dr. Partha. We have to say, it's been very, I think, insightful. But as you said, the biggest challenge is to sustain and to implement and to try and make that little bit of a difference within each one of us. And how can we take that beacon of light, forward? How can we make in our own individual spaces that difference, that meaningful difference? And how can we find our own little space within all of this? With the challenges of the academic side that they have to prove themselves in their studies, they have to find their careers. But within all that, I think they should be able to find that space that is there as well. So, I think...
Only one thing, Elizabeth, I would like to make. Students should not feel that because they have to study so many subjects, their ability to find the place may get compromised. In fact, I would put it the other way. They are complementing. So when I'm studying physics, I'm studying chemistry, I'm studying mathematics, I'm studying a language, I'm getting to know myself because each interface is an experiment. And in the process, I define who I am. So it's not either or, it is complementary. But as long as the students are immersing themselves, immersing. When I'm studying physics, I want to understand, again, not because I want to get an A or B or C, but I want to understand the second law of thermodynamics. So I want to understand Newton's law. So gravity, what is gravity? Why does two masses attract each other? What is the fundamental problem? And those are good questions. And in the process, as you start asking those questions, the equations, I'm assuming students are studying science also? Or
Yeah, they have up till the grade 10, they are exposed to all the streams of education, which is science, social studies, arithmetic, language.
Very good. So my discussions are making some sense when I'm saying laws of thermodynamics or laws of
Yeah, absolutely. They're all clever girls. They all just before you came on, we're also on this path of a so-called a mini revolution within our own campus where we want to bring about a concept where learning is exciting, learning is fun, learning, there's make it more passionate. So we're actually exploring all those options, in the past couple of months. That's what we've been doing to try, because we have to limit ourselves again with the syllabus and with the board and all of that. But within that, we're also trying to bring about this change. How can we make it happen? How can we make it exciting for the girls? So I was just in a conversation with them just before you. The girls are very clever. They understand, perfectly well. In fact, I'm sure they're waiting to ask questions. Like,
let's
so can we give them some time for a few questions?
We have some time. Yeah, absolutely. It would be incomplete.
Take about, say, 3
don't get a chance to listen to your voice.
Yes. So, Major Nalini, are you there with the girls or?
Yes, the girls are ready with the questions.
Oh, good. Okay. So we can start on the questions then before we close. Do we have mics that are passed around?
And they're muted.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Yeah.
Sir, I want to ask you, what is the right mindset to handle burnouts as a student of life?
Burnout.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Firstly, I think you should erase the term burnout from your vocabulary. First, you erase that term. Because why does burnout occur? Burnout occurs because when you feel that when you're working hard, at some point you are feeling too exhausted. Then why do you get exhausted? You get exhausted because perhaps the way you're engaging with that particular subject is not too exciting for you. Because when it is exciting, you will not like to go to sleep. When you're watching a movie, you get stuck to the movie and time passes, you never notice. You never get burnt out, right? You're watching a movie or watching a cricket match or watching a soccer match, maybe it's happening in other time zones, you stay up till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning and you're watching. So I personally feel that firstly, because since all of you are young, you should modulate your life in such a way you never get burnt out. Okay, number one. Number two, unfortunately, if that happens, that you truly been burnt out, I think it is time to just step back a little bit. Step back from whatever you're doing. Okay, today I'll not study. I will just sleep, go jogging. When I feel tired, when I feel tired with my work, I immediately say, okay, I'm not being able to concentrate, but I have to finish the paper. I go out. I fortunately live in a place where I'm surrounded with field. I go for a jogging. I jog for about 2-3 miles, come back fresh. absolutely fresh. And that's what I used to do even when I think about it at IIT. IIT is a very competitive place. I didn't want to miss a single class. Can you believe 5 years course, I didn't miss a single class. But there were times when I was sick. So when I was sick, what did I do? I would take an Anacin, take the water, but then I go out jogging. My thinking was, well, slow speed, not 5 speed, that if I breathe in the oxygen, unfortunately in Delhi you do not have much oxygen, but in Kharagpur it's very green, extremely green. It's like a forest. You go out, you freshen, and then I take a good shower, and I'm back to normal. So do not treat the burnout as something. Firstly, you should not think about burnout. Enjoy the work in such a way that you do not get burnt out. But should those moments occur, I would suggest change the course, take some physical activity, meditate, do yoga, or go out walking. If the air is clean, if the air is not clean, do not go out. Do something in-house, jogging, exercise. Am I assuming in the school you have a gym, Elizabeth?
No, we have all outdoor facilities because the girls play football and other sports. They have cycling as well. So because it's a very green.
How's that clean? Reasonably clean?
Very clean compared to. It's nothing like Delhi.
Okay, that's good. So
they have a clean air.
Clean air. Then go out, clean air, just go. So this is my way of dealing with burnout. I must say there have been situations where I felt I'm not being able to keep up with all the things that I have to do. In fact, I was feeling the same way yesterday when Elizabeth, I sent you the reminder. Because I didn't realize I had so many meetings to attend, and each meeting is a difficult one. I prepare well. For this meeting, I also prepared. That because it is my service to you and to the school, I cannot just come casually and talk whatever I feel like. But I felt, my God, how do I do so many meetings? So when I was feeling a bit tired, it happened yesterday. What did I do? I said, okay, let me go out jogging. I went for about 40 minutes of jogging. Literally, I was jogging quite fast, about 5 miles an hour. But then I got back, I felt quite good. And mind you, I'm 70 plus. So you know my age.
Amazing. Yes.
Yeah, but again, I can do that because I treat myself as a school student. I view myself as exactly the way you view yourself. Why should it be different?
Yeah. Young at heart.
Young at heart, yeah, and you have to stay young at body also.
Young in body as well.
Okay. As you're using the muscles regularly. Because I also have a theory, if you have used your muscle today the way you used it yesterday, and you've done it all the way through your life, your muscles will never age. You use your muscles today as you did yesterday, and you will use it tomorrow as you did today. So in other words, right from the age of 10 to the age of 100, if you use the muscles in the same way, the chances of aging gets significantly reduced. Whenever people say, oh, I'm too old, I cannot do this, this is too much for me, I do not want to lift the bag, we are basically declaring our age. So we have to be a bit more positive minded. Yes, madam?
Yes. So thank you. That was sound advice for me too. So what's the next question, girls?
Good evening, sir. Can you explain the difference between comfort zone and safe space?
Comfort zone and safe space. Okay, that's a good question, a very good question. Many may think it's the same, but actually I like the question. It's not really the same. Comfort zone to me is being in a zone where we are willing to take risks, but in an area which you are comfortable with. So you're willing to take risks, you're willing to jump into something, but in a zone that you know. Safe space is somewhere you are totally insulated yourself so that you would not at all take any kind of risk with yourself or any risk which the space around you might offer. So you have insulated yourself that I do not want to deal with any outside forces which might disturb my space. And I also do not want to do anything in the space which will disturb the space. So your respect is for the space and you want to feel safe there. It's a very sterile way of living life. We are only focused on safety, as opposed to when I'm saying life is about exploration, experiment. Now, experiment within comfort zone versus, I often say, I do outside of the comfort zone. So when I experiment outside of the comfort zone, an uncomfortable zone, I naturally start expanding my comfort zone. Because if I don't experiment outside the comfort zone, I'm not expanding my comfort zone. So the third concept is good to experiment sometimes outside of your comfort zone so that you can know what you are uncomfortable with, and what you are uncomfortable with today will become comfortable with you tomorrow. So I think life is about expanding our zones of comfort. But you can only expand the zones of comfort when you do something which you have not done before. Am I clear?
I think that was clear. It was, yeah, and a good question too about.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Was it clear to you?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I think it was clear.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Sir, you have talked about the adventures of the unknown and embracing it. My question is, can you share some of your unlearnings?
Unlearning.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. I like the term, unlearning. I will give you an example. Very good example, actually. When I was in my previous firm, McKinsey & Company, which is a management consulting, I learned, so that I could be more efficient, how to dictate to my secretary and get some letter done. So what I learned was how to dictate. But as computers came into place, I found dictating, she types, she makes mistakes, it comes to me, I edit, and it goes back and forth. It was a long, audio process. So I instead said, maybe I should become comfortable with the keyboard. I went to literally a typing class so that I learned how to keyboard. And so I unlearned dictating and learned how to type in. Literally, and that time I was in my mid-30s. I was a senior partner in McKinsey, but I felt mindful. I type so I can use the computer efficiently. Without looking into the keyboard, I can type in. That I learned when I was in, I would say, mid-30s. In last 5 years, I started dictating. When I send a note, Elizabeth, to you, I do not type anymore. I dictate. I've gone back to dictating again. But dictating not to a secretary, but dictating to my word computer. And then I clean it up, the note goes to Elizabeth. So dictating, advantage of dictating is, if you practice again, that if you can think in a structured way, it becomes a very nicely written note, because as if you are talking to someone. So this is a very simple example. I learned dictating, I unlearned dictating, learn typing, not that I unlearned typing, I still type, but I relearned dictating, but not to a person, but to my computer.
Yes.
So there are many such examples. You have to, continuously learn because society is changing. Because if you do not learn, you have to unlearn to learn because some of the old habits you have to unlearn. Like we have a bad habit in India that you always expect someone else to do the work for you, particularly if you're educated. So you have to unlearn to expect that. You can do the work, physical work. So I think that practice is very important. Yes, madam, next question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I think we'll just take one last question now.
I think you're mute.
We can't hear you, my dear. Can you turn the mic on?
Can you throw some light on your experience and culture that shocked, which have enhanced your life experience and culture?
Yeah, it was never a shock. I can see burning and shock. Anything new is different. So I can say culture shock. I'll tell you an example. When I first came to an American university, US university, that too at MIT, I was in my class. I was amazed how openly my fellow students in America was talking to their professors. And they were asking fearless questions, sometimes stupid, sometimes smart, but they didn't care. And professor also didn't mind. If it's a stupid question, he said, well, Partha, that's a great question, but have you thought through carefully? Can you come to the board and explain? As am I explaining on the board, I realized it was a stupid question. Or sometimes from stupidity, some intelligent question comes up. So that was an exposure. I was not shocked, but it was very different from the atmosphere I came from when I was in IIT. IIT Kharagpur was that time the most prestigious IIT. Other IITs were just about coming up, other four. But IIT Kharagpur was the place to go. I was there. It was a very structured process. But here I come in MIT, students are courageous, and the teacher, by the way, was a Nobel Prize winner. But he did not teach in a way that he is superior and we are inferior. We are all equal. All equal. So to student, professor encouraged questions, and students were fearless, using the word Elizabeth, fearless, in asking any question that came to their minds. And that was, perhaps you can say, a shock, but for me it was not a shock. I would have expected that it would be different. And immediately I understood why America is so successful. But the success comes from being fearless. It's not money. Where did America earn money from? By innovation. Why innovation happened? Because the fearless questioning. Mind you, America 200 years ago did not even exist. Economically, it was zero. India was a richer country 200 years ago, significantly richer. But today, India is significantly poorer, America is richer. The difference is this fearlessness and ability to ask questions, and people who are listening to the questions, ability to listen to stupid questions, smart questions, with equal amount of respect. Now, no, sit down, you are stupid, don't ask such stupid question. Not a single professor at MIT or Harvard or any other American university will talk like that. So that was perhaps a shock, but it was not a shock for me. Nothing is a shock. Why should it be a shock? Every culture is different. When I move to a new place, I should expect something very different, and I have to ask why it's different. Do I like it or not? If I like it, I embrace it. If I don't like it, I try to bring my culture into that space.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're a melting pot of cultures as well in MJC because we have girls from so many different states on the campus. So that itself is like a huge learning for the girls. I think your time as well, you've given us over an hour, precious time for you. You've given us powerful ideas, brilliant ideas, I would say. But I think what we need to do from our side is to be able to use those ideas to be able to transform our lives, literally, to be able to explore our lives, to be able to find that space, that special place for each one of us. So, on behalf of everyone, Dr. Ghosh, I have to say thank you for opening our hearts and minds to the possibilities of giving us space.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I very much enjoyed it and look forward to the next month.
Thank you,
Maybe
Dr.
next month's lecture could be something very unique. Elizabeth, think of a subject which students want. Maybe students could.
Oh, in fact, just before you came, I was asking the girls, what would you like to hear? So, maybe we'll take a poll amongst all of them and find a topic that they would like to hear from you, and I will communicate the same to you.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Partha.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.